Yo, we back again, man. It's the home team heroes, man. It's your boy SB.
What's up? It's your boy Banks.
What's good? I'm Darren, man.
Hey, we back again. I believe this is our 8th episode, man. This is a milestone, man. We're trying to make this a regular thing. So before we jump into this 8th episode, man, I want to introduce, man, a self-made warrior, self-made legend from my side of town. So I had to get my boy on here, man. You might have seen him on ESPN. You might have seen him in the weight room. Might have seen him at Ball State. Might have seen him with Lil Wayne, man. He's doing big things, and I'm proud of my boy. So no further introduction, Darnell Smith, man. What's up, baby?
Hello, fellas, man. I appreciate the intro, man. I ain't never got an intro like that before.
Oh, yeah, man. We going to lay out the carpet every time.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that.
Self-made warrior. You a Warren Central?
Come on, man. I'm far east side.
Come on, man.
I mean, I'm far east side too,
but he's a wildcat. Yeah, man. They ain't had a lot of winning.
I went to Marshall first, though. I went to John Marshall first, and then I had to get up out of there. You know, I'm out of district, trying to out of district application.
Hey, look, my little sister go to LN right now, so I got a little love for LN. So
okay, there we go.
Yeah.
I don't got no love for him. Hopefully we see him here in 2 weeks in the playoffs.
Oh, then we just beat y'all at Boston. I'm supposed to be football legit. Yeah, we rocking.
That was a fluke.
I'm gonna let you.
That was a fluke.
I'm gonna let y'all have that. I'm on the freshman staff, and I'm gonna
y'all waxed them.
Freshman boys, my young killers, man. We put up 380 points and only gave up 40 points.
Seen that.
34-0 since the spring. I don't even know what defeat feel like as a coach.
Okay,
so heavy, bro.
So y'all got
he feeling like Floyd.
I mean, I hope varsity. Man, we feeling good, but hopefully varsity can take care of it, man. Before we go any further, man, let's jump into our presenting sponsor, man, Jet Life Co. JETLYFE stands for Positivity, Love, Family, and Friends with a goal to unite Chicagoland area through high quality designer brand, man. So tees, hats, flip flops, socks, lady wear, they got it all. Shout out to Sean, shout out to Reem, man. Keep going, keep building on the brand, and we support him.
Special shout out to Sean too, man. He just graduated, getting his master's in marketing today. So special shout out to him too.
That's big. That's major.
Another guy with another diploma, man. We love that.
For sure. All right, just to switch it over a little bit, we going to the big homie word of the day. For those who are not acquainted with it, big homie is who I call God. That's just based off of our relationship. You can call him what you want to. But first of all, we're going to thank God for another day. What big homie told me today is that love and forgiveness has no cap to it. So we sometimes think that we got a limit to it and things of that nature. He said we have to love and forgive like him because we are made in his image, and he does it for us even when we don't do it for him. He said, give him my trust, and he will make sure he holds his word and take care of us despite all the negativity and stuff that might come your way from doing what you're supposed to. So don't put a cap on your love. Do what you're supposed to. You know what I'm saying? The world is evil. You know what I'm saying? Things happen, but don't let it dim your light.
Yes, sir. You on the head with it every time, Banks.
On the head every time. I need to hear that, man, because people do things to you to make you not want to show love no more, show support, and then you got to find yourself in that position where, like, you know, don't let them change your morals or what you stand on. You know, they just weren't worthy of your love, but don't stop supporting people. Don't stop showing love because you get one bad taste in your mouth, man.
For sure. It's a lot easier said than done.
Facts. It's definitely a lot easier. A lot easier.
Yes, sir.
But jumping into this first question for Darnell, man. Let's talk about. I want you to just go ahead and tell the viewers about the Porch Podcast and the clothing line, man. 'Cause I see you doing both. You know, with your normal 9 to 5 you got going on. Explain to us how that's going and working 2 businesses or doing your own 2 businesses with your main business.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, so. First of all, man, like I said, thank y'all for even having me on here. Definitely been rocking with y'all, been tuning in. So it's a pleasure to even be on here. But yeah, man, I'm just trying to stay busy, just grinding. And so first of all, you mentioned I got my own podcast called The Porch. Shout out to my co-host Bolo, aka Brian Jones. He's actually he's a coach for LC right now, but we met in. Oh, yeah, no. I know. But he's originally from Chicago. We met in college. He was my teammate at Ball State, played safety. It was a dog. And we just, post-college, we ended up working together and just going in the office every day, kind of being away from the game. He was like, man, what's something we can just do this to kind of clear our heads and talk about Black culture, sports, lifestyle. And we came up with this idea to do the Porch. And, we originally started back in early 2018. And then I ended up moving to LA. And at the time, like, Zoom wasn't really like a thing at first. So it was like, damn, like, we want to keep doing it, but we didn't really know the best route to, go with it. So we kind of stopped for a while. Obviously with technology, me learning more stuff, and ended up bringing it back not too long ago. So yeah, man, definitely check us out, man. The Porch Podcast, and then
what platforms can they find you on?
Yes, anywhere. So we on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, like pretty much anywhere where you listen to podcasts, you can find us. Anchor as well. So
Anchor,
yes, sir. And then my clothing line, Live for the Day clothing line, man. It's mostly casual / active wear for both men and women. We actually have more gear for women right now, and the whole mindset behind that was it's co-owned by me and another teammate. Shout out to my guy FA. And the mindset behind this was trying to share a positive message through clothing. And the whole message behind Live for the Day is, so often we care about what other people think about us or their thoughts, or sometimes we even limit ourselves as in regards to what we're capable of doing. So it's like, man, forget all that noise. Like, live out your dreams. If you got a goal in mind, a big dream in mind, chase after it. Don't let anybody or anything limit you, man. So just live for the day. And that's the brand. We've been rocking with it for we just had our 2-year anniversary. So anybody listening in, Lftclothingbrand.com. Shop now. Got some new gear just dropped for the ladies. I'm telling y'all, it's fire. So yeah, Lftclothingbrand.com. Check us out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get in tune with that for sure.
Yes, sir.
I'm definitely gonna get into it. I've been trying to, I see you and wifey right behind you. I've been trying to get wifey in the gym, consistently. She had these spurts where she go crazy, and then I might not see her in the gym for another year. So I might surprise. That's the move. I'm about to go grab some gear. When you get new gear,
you know what I mean?
Gym, it usually
you got to sport it.
You got to sport it. A month solid.
Yeah.
A month solid. Well, talking about, podcasts and how you started and what you running through in Zoom, we run through the same troubles as well. So anybody listening, if you're looking for avenues, you got the freeways with Anchor and Zoom like that. We use Riverside FM, and then we run use our database or hub. We use Buzzsprout, buzzsprout.com. And that gives us the ability to monetize, also push our podcast to all the different platforms from one database. So that's how we usually run our operation. So if anybody out there listening and they motivated to start their own podcast, all you really need is a pair of, starting out, it's not really expensive, a pair of Apple headphones and a phone. Just you got multiple people, it's different avenues, but definitely looking on YouTube to look up different setups and avenues to run your podcast. And then it's also the virtual, which we do everything virtual. So shout out to you for sharing, what you use on your podcast.
Sure.
Jumping into the next question, man. Most people don't know you, so I'm gonna give a little background since I've been knowing you since maybe I was probably 10 or 9. I don't know how old I was.
Real young.
Starting off, really, I see, the Ball State jersey, you had a D1 offer, but most people don't know, and I know, especially a lot of these kids don't know, Darnell wasn't the most talented person. Darnell wasn't the most talented person when it came to football at first. So he jumped into a realm. Where he was forced to, hit the weight room hard and make it. So that's why I called him a self-made warrior when we first started this podcast. For the kids listening, anybody else listening, tell them the process of not being the most talented, but still wanting those goals and dreams.
Yeah, man, for sure. So yeah, just kind of starting from the beginning. So being from Indy, first of all, I was a late bloomer with football. My first love was hooping. I thought I was gonna be a hooper, man. I started playing basketball when I was 9 years old, in 4th grade. I was okay, but after so many years of you get older, you get to middle school, people start really getting good. And I played like a big man, but I ain't that tall. So I'm 5'11" now. In middle school, I was probably close to this, probably 5'9" or something, but I'm playing like a big man. And we got true guys who's, 6'2", 6'1". So I'm like, all right, this probably ain't gonna work out. I ain't that skilled anyway. I'm really average. So I was like, all right. I've always played football in the streets, and me being a bigger guy, outside I was just good because it's hard. We playing tackle football in the streets. You ain't got no pads on. It's hard to tackle somebody who's as big as I was for my age. So I was like, all right, cool, bet. Let me play football. I'm thinking it's going to be easy. And I started playing in 8th grade. It was my first year playing actual football. And, man, I was trash. Like, it was – I was at Creston Middle School for those who are from, Indianapolis. And I'm playing with a lot of really talented players, at that time. Deontay Buckley was a superstar, especially in middle school. Sheldon Day, who's in the league now. And shoot, even at the time, Sheldon wasn't even all that at the time, but I'll get to that later. But
yeah, nobody don't know that. Sheldon wasn't.
He wasn't all that.
Yeah, high school.
It was a lot of just dogs or people from the city who was been playing their whole life, and I'm like, man, this shit is fast. This ain't what I thought. Playing outside. So, I just kind of kept pushing. Because think about me, man. I've always been a hard worker, and if I start something, I gotta finish it. Even if I'm not that good, I just gotta keep going. So. What really blessed me is going to Warren Central. Honestly, I go to Warren freshman year. I remember like the first day of summer practice, and we were all getting our pads and stuff. And I'm looking around. You got people from each middle school, Raymond Park, Creston, Stony Brook, and I'm looking around like, damn, I ain't gonna never play. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just keep going. And kind of like Shaq said, it's just something in me. I don't know if it's my pride. I don't know what it is. Like, if I'm not good at something, I got to keep working until I at least get decent at it. And I just, playing around a lot of just talented players going to Warren, if you work hard, it's almost hard not to at least be decent because you got so many talented players around you. If you working with them, seeing what they're doing, working beside them, if you working hard, you can at least be decent. And I just kept working and eventually, earned the starting spot on the freshman team. And then at the end of the year, I think we called it the freshman 40. I don't know if y'all still do that or not.
Thirsty
30, my fault.
Yeah,
Thirsty 30. I made that, which is basically just like the top 30 freshmen get to like stay, travel with the JV and varsity team for the rest of the year until they lose or whatever. And then kind of same thing. Next year I'm on JV, started JV. Then my very first year in varsity wasn't until junior year, and I still wasn't a starter. I only had 1 year that I started on varsity. People don't know that either. I started my senior year in varsity. That was it. Junior year, I rotated. We had so many talented guys. Like I mentioned earlier, Sheldon Day, who currently plays for the Cleveland Browns. I think it's his 6th or 7th season in the league. At the time, we had a guy named Chris Harley who had like 18 Division I offers. We had a defensive end named Josh Posey who had like 10 offers, and our other defensive end was Jonathan Bird at the time, had like 6, 7 offers. So, like, it just was hard to get on the field. I was a good player, but it's like, damn, I got all these dogs. So, I played decently during the year. And like Shaq said, I wasn't super athletic. I wasn't super like anything. I was really average in a lot of areas. But my work ethic was top level. And because of my work ethic, I translated that to the weight room. And I was like, listen, I can't control all this other stuff that God maybe didn't bless me with, but I can control how I work in this weight room, how I work mentally, knowing the playbook, understanding the game. And those are things that I did, man. I became probably one of the strongest, if not the strongest guy, probably at the high school down there. And yeah, I was blessed to get that one offer from Ball State. That was my one Division I offer. I could have went to some smaller schools, but Ball State came in, took a chance on me as an undersized defensive tackle. I was probably 250, 245 my senior year, 5'11". Like, that's a small D tackle. But they saw me, they saw how I worked, and they gave me a chance, and I just took it and ran with it.
That's dope.
Facts, man. And I feel like a lot of younger kids need to hear that, man, because especially with me coaching boxing and football, just being around these kids, that work ethic piece is missing. And I don't know, people try to say it's parenting or whatever it is, but kids don't understand, like, well, you want it, you got to go get it. Ain't nobody going to hand it to you. And, it's kind of hard to, you as an old head, or I say, whatever you're going to call yourself, an old head, whatever you are, these kids don't want to hear you preach it. They want to see it, or they want to, they want to see the proof. Right. So it's like, when you're talking to them and stuff, it's easy to say this, or I used to do this and do that. But like when I see Darnell, I can bring Darnell up. Like, he literally took himself from, maybe not ever playing, got in the weight room, became the strongest person, and changed his whole outcome. He took his destiny in his own hands. And a lot of kids these days, that's the message we got to get back to them, because they don't understand that.
100%, man. 100%. My fault, I want to cut you off.
Nah, you all good.
Nah, you good.
Yeah.
You all good. Go ahead, Darren.
So we know you interview Wayne, bro, and I can definitely appreciate that because I've been preaching that one of the hardest verses was "Say sex is great sex. So you better wear latex. You don't want that latex that I think I'm latex."
Yes,
and you said that to Wayne. He was like, "Damn, who said that?" Like he's so far, he didn't even know he said that. That's one of the hardest verse. That's one of the hardest bars I ever heard in my life, bro. And I keep preaching that forever. And so, how was that feeling, being able to, I'm sure he was like one of your top rappers at the time, you see what I'm saying? Because he had a crazy run.
Crazy run.
So I'm sure, and still is. So I'm sure, being in front of one of your favorite artists of all time and be able to just sit there and really talk to him on some humble, like man-to-man type thing. Like, how did that make you feel? Was that like a point in your life, like, damn, I'm really kind of doing this shit, you see, man? How was Wayne off the camera? Like, how, what is his personality like off the camera? You know what I mean? Was you nervous in any way?
Yeah. So, man, first of all, yeah, Wayne's down to earth. Like, he's genuine. He's cool as hell. Honestly, like from my experience, I mean, he came in. He's professional. He came in on time. Actually, showed up earlier than expected. We were in the studio, and we're talking through his management team, and they're like, "Hey, Wayne's like 5 minutes out." We like, oh shit, like let's hurry up and start moving. Because typically when you're working with athletes and entertainers, just being real, they show up late. They, like you're not really expecting them to be on time. So Wayne's like on it. So I'm like, all right, we in the studio getting things ready. I'm definitely nervous just off the strength that like this is Little Wayne. Like I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm Lil Darnell from the Far East Side, food stamps. Like I don't come from a lot, you know what I'm saying? And Wayne is somebody who like you said, I've been listening to Wayne since I was like 5 years old. The Block is Hot. Whenever that came out, whoever age I was, the first memory I have of Wayne. And I think that was like 2000. So I was like 5, 6 years old. So you got to think for 20 years I've been listening to this man. Never in my life that I think I would meet him, let alone, I'm not going to say we friends. I don't know if that's strong enough, but like,
now y'all friends.
I got his number. I can contact him. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like
that's dope.
It's just crazy. So yeah. So he walks in. We get straight to it. Like as soon as he walk in, they mic him up. Boom, boom. We get straight to it. And I'm locked in. I'm treating this like a game. It's like game day for me. I correlate everything to sports because that's really what kind of helped mold me to who I am. So I'm like, listen, I prepared. I watched the tape, so to speak. So I kind of got locked in. And then, the interview, as you guys saw, it was fun. Like, he was really locked in. And a lot of people know, man, like, sometimes these artists, they'll do an interview, but they're not really interested. They're not really into it. But he was actually, like, attentive, which was dope. Because I'm like, damn, like, a lot of people can't even get to Wayne. The fact that I even got to him, he actually showed up on time, and he's actually having fun with the interview. It was, like, more than I could have ever asked for. So, yeah, after the interview, bro, I'm in the car with my wife. I have my homie with me in the back. I'm lit. I'm like, I just interviewed Wayne. Like, I just won a Super Bowl. Like, this is crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, bro. And I'm glad, Darren. Thank you for backing me up on that verse. People be trying to laugh. That's hard. That's hard.
And we was young when that verse came out. I wouldn't even think about that. But I'm like, I know what that is. That's dope. So for sure.
But it's the wordplay. Like how many times you use latex? It made sense though. Like it was so crazy.
So that's y'all. I know that's Darnell. That's your favorite Wayne verse too. Dan?
Oh, that's my favorite Wayne bar. Yeah, for sure. Wayne got a lot of verses. It's kind of hard to categorize which one is the coldest.
Bro, Wayne got way too many, bro. Yeah. I ain't gonna cap.
Man, I can't even remember the song. My favorite Wayne verse is that Weezy F baby, strapped like the Navy, ride around the city, have a brick strapped to a baby. We getting money, honey, run a lap if you lazy. He was going crazy.
He got way too many, bro. Like I wouldn't even I ain't gonna lie, my brain would be hurt trying to figure out which one I'm gonna pick.
Man, Wayne, and it's one thing, not jumping off topic, but like when you was interviewing Wayne, you say how humble he is. I know a lot of people, and I hate when people try to argue what celebrities really mean and they demeanor behind camera without meeting them. So I'm glad that we got you a subject matter expert now. Because when Wayne interviewed people, he always say just like he didn't remember that bar, he'd be like, "What new rappers you listen to?" He'd be like, "I honestly don't know that many. I don't listen. I listen to myself all day." So he'd be like, "I don't remember this person. I don't know that person." They take that as he hating on them or he don't. It's like, ain't no way he don't know that person and know what's going on. Like, he in his own
Facts.
world. Like, people get so caught up in people. You know, when he locked in and you got tunnel vision and you doing your own thing, you're not always keeping up with the new fab or what's going on. But people, especially in our generation, they take that as disrespect.
Right.
Like, why you don't know me? Or you should know me.
That's
you know
self-entitlement, boy.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
Like,
the camera's very deceiving, brother. You know what I mean? What you is on the camera is what you is. You know what I mean? You have to sometimes portray a certain role because it's entertainment. He's an entertainment business.
Right.
You gotta entertain. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why I asked the question who he was off the camera, just to show that there is humility in some of these athletes and some of these musicians and actors, because people feel like they don't have no human in them. They're superheroes, which kind of, I guess, kind of dives into the next conversation we could talk about is Kyrie Irving, man. You know, Kyrie Irving, very, very decorated, bro. He can, we don't got to really get into this game. We know he can score all three levels. He got the jump shots, you feel me, mid-range. He's very acrobatic at the rim. He's decent on the defensive end, too, but he has the most important thing is he got the ball on the string. You feel me? And so but also off the camera, he does a lot of phenomenal things as well, too. He donates his money. He's very selfless with his money. He's a selfless individual. And he's very stern on what he believes in. You know what I mean? He's a flat earther, which that's different in its own, right? But, I just want to clarify on his image a bit because people, starting to get what some things wrong about him. Like, to clarify, he's not really anti-vaccine. Like, he's not like, I'm not taking the vaccine because I don't believe in it. He just want to be the voice for the voices is how he categorized it as. Is he wants to be the voice for the individuals who don't have the ability to really say how they feel about the vaccine. Because there's people that's honestly losing their jobs because it's either you take the vaccine or you're fired, right? And so he's trying to get that image of, well, we got the same. I don't know if he's trying to. Now, this is where I want to get in the conversation because I don't know where he's trying to go with it really, because I'm a KD fan. You feel what I'm saying? So we rocking with the Nets for the past 3 years. We are favored 72% to win the NBA championship. 72%. And that's with Kyrie. You feel me? So I want Kyrie on the court. So, but, I know he wants to stand for something bigger than, because they always – these athletes like LeBron, KD, everybody, they preach we're more than athlete. And I know he's trying to stand for that. So give us your little thoughts on how you feel about Kyrie and his situation and not being offered the $196 million contract extension, turning that away to stand for something. That's crazy.
Nah, it's definitely crazy, man. And first of all, I'll say this. I think I agree. I think he's being unfairly judged on his stance in his decision, whether you're vaccinated or not. And I'll be transparent. I am fully vaccinated, but I wasn't one of the first ones to do it. Like, I got fully vaccinated like not too long ago, if I'm being real. And again, I don't judge either way. If you got it immediately, great. If you didn't get it, great. My whole thing behind it is, and people ain't gonna like it, whatever, is like, okay, if you got vaccinated, then your belief is that you're protected, right? So if you do get COVID, you should be good, right? So me as a vaccinated person, even if I'm in the room with someone who may not be vaccinated, I don't care because it's not necessarily affecting me because I believe that I'm protected. So if this person don't want to get vaccinated, that's on them. If I hope they get it. I want them to be safe for them, but I can't care more about somebody than they care about themselves. So that's my number one thing that's kind of like it's confusing me on why there's so much this backlash and energy getting thrown at him. It's his body, right? It's his health, and it's weird because people are calling him selfish, and I'm like, listen, it ain't like he's having a contract dispute or it's something like of that matter. Like this is a health thing that none of us knew was coming. It was none of us expected this to happen. So that's number one. Number two, Darren, I do agree with you. So my only, I guess, question or whatever towards Kyrie is, what's your end game, right? Like, I understand you want to be the voice for the voiceless, but like, to what extent are you going to retire? Possibly. I know that sounds crazy, but I mean, the way the league is, like, I feel like if he's going to play, he's going to have to get vaccinated. So if that's not what he's going to do, then are you just going to not? Are you done playing? That's what I kind of would like to get clarity on and understanding what's the bigger play here. But ultimately, I think he's being unfairly judged, man. I don't think you're talking about his character. And it's like, no, man, that's not right. That's not right.
I got two spinoffs on that too.
Mm-hmm.
one, my thing is, like you said, if you're so confident in taking that and being protected, my thing is you can't only be one-sided. So because the vaccine does not prevent you from catching COVID, you can't be worried about what they're doing if you're not wearing your mask. And this is just me saying this is if you're gonna like critique people on what they're doing about not getting it.
Right.
So if you're not wearing your mask, then you're not saving people from the precautions either, because you can be asymptomatic, or because you have that vaccine, you might not feel those symptoms like somebody who wouldn't have it. So you might be spreading it yourself, and you're not putting that mask on. You know what I'm saying? So we got to hold everybody accountable if we're gonna go about it that way.
Right.
But it's so political and so aggressive with it now that it's more like some people don't even want to speak on whether they got it or not now. You know what I'm
Everybody's
saying?
scared.
It's like a political standpoint on it. Then my second thing, like you said with Kyrie, like what's the end game? Because you can sit out, and I love him for it. Don't get me wrong. He turned down a lot of money, but a lot of people can't do the same stance he took because their livelihood. You know what I'm saying? They don't have millions coming from endorsements or millions coming from this, and a lot of people got families. So everybody can't take that same role, in which I feel him though. He's the voice. He's showing that, like, yeah, I'm denying a lot of money, but also, and it's not his job to save everybody.
Right.
But I do want to know his end game, like you said. Definitely.
I think my standpoint, Kyrie is a very I don't know him personally, but he comes across as a very misunderstood person.
100%.
And I feel like sometimes he does things that make him even more misunderstood, like walking in with the walking stick. Like he does certain things that he know the media is gonna be like, "What are you doing?" But I feel like fans, like even when like me, I gamble a lot. I play fantasy football. I feel like fans get so caught up in what that person is doing for them. Like as Darren was saying, he was talking about winning the championship. We get so caught up on them as entertainers or figures that we forget that they're human beings at the same time. And the fact that, I'm not vaccinated. I'm not an vaxxer, don't get it. But just in my belief, I don't really know what's really getting in it. And I'm seeing different things happen to different people, and Johnson this and and it's all happening so fast. So it just got me kind of standing on that border, like, I'm just going to have to protect myself and do what's best for my family. At the end of the day, everybody got to do what's best for their family. So if he doesn't feel like he wants to get the vaccine, and I agree with Darnell as well, he needs to just flat out say, I'm not getting it, so I'm not playing this year.
Yeah. Instead
of letting the media keep making buzz, he's going to be the top of the headline. But I do think he's bringing awareness to it, but I don't know, like you said, his end goal, because I work in construction industry. Like Lilly is one of the biggest companies in America, and if you're not vaccinated at Lilly, whether you're a subcontractor or contractor or what, you can't work on the Lilly premises unless you have a vaccination card. So I know he's not the only one. And then you have nurses and different things like this that if they get COVID, they have to use PTO. They don't even get paid. And they're working. You could be in a COVID unit working 9 to 5 and you get COVID. Now you at home and they don't even
My wife's a nurse. Not to cut you off. She just left to go work her night shift. So she's a nurse. She had to get fully vaccinated. She didn't want to, just being real. Yeah. She had to. So it's like,
had to keep her job. So they making people, that's, that's almost messing with the Constitution right there. You know what I mean? So, I feel like everybody got their own standpoint, but I sometimes feel like, definitely celebrity and stuff, we hold them on a different platform or to a different standard than just being a human.
Oh, definitely. So, but that's because they're in the light all the time. You know what I'm saying? They're definitely in the light all the time. But look, so it's been said that if Nets choose to trade him, then he said he's going to retire. I don't know how true that is. Sources can be definitely, whatever the case, right? It didn't come out of his mouth. You know what I'm saying? And so there's that standpoint on it. My thing is, it's not an NBA thing. It's not a Nets thing. It's the state of New York thing. Like that is a mandate that the state of New York is mandating. You feel me? So there's some things that I feel like it's just some situations that are just too big that you can chew on. You feel what I'm saying? Like you can control what you can control. That's how I feel like he should go about it. And it's like I said, it's not that he doesn't want to take because he doesn't believe in the success the vaccine has, or the standard of the vaccine, or that it helps or it doesn't help. It's just he doesn't want to take because he wants to be the voice of other individuals. And I feel like he's trying to. Honestly, I don't even think he feel like playing basketball no more, to be real with you, because everybody is they took the sacrifice. The entire team took the sacrifice. Being part of a team is part of sacrifice. I'm sure you can appreciate that, Shaq, Darnell, and things. You know what I'm saying? You got to sacrifice somewhere being a team. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to continue to play basketball and keep it a basketball. This is something that New York is mandating, not NBA. The NBA was willing to let him get tested every single week if the Nets was letting him to be part-time. But nobody want a part-time hooper. Like, you can't be out here part-time hooping. There has to be, consistency and continuity with your team. It's 82 games. We're 72% favored to win the NBA championship. We trying to go make a push to the championship. We need you, Kyrie, full-time or not. And
right. Well, let me play devil's advocate a little bit. And when you talking about sacrifice and things like that, so and we all saying we want to know what Kyrie's call to action is. Right. What is his end goal? When Kaepernick took his knee, and I recently seen Dez Bryant, he was in the media a lot for this conversation as well. He said that, Colin Kaepernick raised awareness. His end goal was to. I feel like Colin Kaepernick's end goal was to raise awareness to police brutality and police brutality in the communities. I feel like Kyrie's action right now is to raise awareness for people who are losing their jobs because they don't want to take a vaccine. It's not 100% sure that it's going to prevent you from getting COVID or prevent you from spreading COVID. So, who are we to determine someone's end goal for our own personal reasons? So if he wants to be a part-time or, hooper, like, at the end of the day, when you buy into something, I'm pretty sure you bought into something in your life, something's going to be bigger than you. And like you said, sacrifice. So, that might be his sacrifice, but some things aren't, financial or championships. It could be spirit, it could be all different type of journeys you go down, and you got to choose those on your own. So that's kind of how I feel.
I agree. I ain't even going to argue with that. You feel me?
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Because, Darnell, I don't know if you saw Dez like that. I didn't agree with that at all. He said, he was pissed at Colin because he didn't get nobody jobs and things like that. But I'm like, Colin Kaepernick, since he's done that, I feel like every single police brutality case is happening. Almost, not every single one.
A lot of them.
It's a high chance that you're going to get a lot of publicity, and it's going to get to, more action is going to happen than before.
Right.
And you have people that didn't agree with him for taking the knee, people didn't agree with him for standing, vice versa. But I just can't judge people's end goals. I don't know how do you be real from the heart but state your call to action at the same time?
Right.
I feel like it's like a.
Nah, I definitely feel what you're saying. That's a good point. That's a great point. That you make, and like you said, maybe he knows what his end goal is. He just don't want to tell us all his moves. You know what I'm saying? So, I definitely feel you. And like, even if this is all he is going to do, and let's say he ends up getting the vaccine next week and ends up playing, even what he's already done still has brought some light, some attention to it. So it's like you said, who are we to say you're doing it wrong when hell, I ain't doing nothing about it. So how can I say the next man?
Facts. I know we just got a little. You go ahead, Banks.
My bad. You would still be on that topic because I don't want to change it if you was on that topic still.
No, I was about to change it.
All right. So yeah, my bad. So just to kind of piggyback off of the last two statements. So those are two like celebrities that you are able to now be in a room with due to your accomplishments as far as being well rounded. Mm-hmm. So my question to you is like for the kids that's playing sports and as a ticket out. You know what I'm saying? You were saying that you weren't the most talented, but the things that you learned from the game and your work ethic got you into different positions and to achieve. And then once you hit that cap, you were able to venture out in other areas. So for what's the importance of being well-rounded and not banking on just that for a living, but also like shaping that versatility? And like one, what's the importance of that? Two, what like kind of shaped you to get into that versatile, demeanor to be able to spread out? Because now you got a lot going on in different areas that football just itself playing football didn't do. You know what I'm saying? So what's the importance of it? And then what kind of shaped you into getting to that?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. I think, you always hear the phrase, like, don't put all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. And for a while, I would say this, like, when it came to school, like, I've always had pretty good grades. I was always, either A, B honor roll, or if I might have been 1 C off to get it. So school for me came relatively, like, easy. So I always took care of that. But when I was younger, like, my way out was through sports. Like, I thought I was going to go to the NFL and, play football and take care of moms. And that was going to be the typical thought, right? My career didn't go that way. I had a decent career, all conference, captain, whatever, going to my senior year, had a knee injury, was supposed to come back, knee didn't recover, lost a lot of cartilage, got DQ'd, boom, time to graduate. And it happened like quick. It was like, I go from football dreams to like, nah, you about to be out of here, get a job, figure it out. So, you know, and it was tough if I'm being real. Anybody who's a former athlete, I mean, I know all you guys, you know, play sports at some level. That transition can be tough when you've been playing something for a while and you've been putting so much work and effort. And then if you actually make it to just play college ball, I don't care if it's D3, JUCO, anywhere, you feel like you a step away from the big dream. And then for it to end, however way it ends, it's tough. So, you know, looking back in hindsight, and at the time, I wouldn't say I was depressed. I didn't think I was. But in hindsight, I think I dealt with a little bit of like slight depression of just not knowing, like what's next, right? You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like what's next, like I can't get a job. It's just like being real. For whatever reason, since I was a child, I've always thought that I was going to just be a little different than my environment. I didn't know what I was going to do. It was something in me. I just felt like I was going to be different than my actual environment of the poverty situation that I was in. And I just thought football was going to be that route because football had taken me so far. You know what I mean? It gave me confidence in myself, being real. It got me in good physical shape. It got me to free education. I ain't had no money for college, so got me to college. You know, so it just football carried me for a long point. So I'm like, cool, I'm just keep on riding this football thing until I make it to the top, and it's gonna be smooth. So when it didn't go that way, it's like, man, the real world hits you, and it's like you either gonna just fold or you gonna figure it out. And I had to figure it out. So, you know, when I first graduated college, I didn't go straight into the media stuff. This wasn't part of my plan. Let me say that. The TV stuff, this wasn't part of my plan. I didn't go to school for communications and journalism, and I got a business degree in marketing. And marketing plays a little bit of a role, but it was more business focused. It wasn't like TV focused. So I got my opportunity through networking connection. So one piece of advice that I would give to anybody listening, especially young people, is network. Talk to everybody. Meet everybody. Facts. Treat everybody with a high level of respect. I don't care if it's the damn janitor or the CEO. You treat everybody with love. One, because it's the right thing to do. Point blank, period. But beyond that, you never know how it can come back and benefit you down the road. So, or hurt you. Exactly. That's a good point. So the reason I say that, let me go back. I keep going back and forth. So I graduated from school. I'm in a sales role. Decent job. I'm making solid money. I'm making more money than like most people in my immediate family had made, which ain't saying a lot. But a lot of times you compare yourself to like what you around. And for me, it's like, cool, I'm making this money. I'm decent. I got my own crib. I'm living with my girl. I'm cool. I'm comfortable. But it's like, man, like this ain't really me. Like I'm just in the office all day, just on the phone. And Shaq knows me for a while. Like I'm a high energy guy. I joke a lot. I like moving around. And going from that locker room to just being on the phone all day, I'm like, man, this is miserable. And I got real big. Thanks. Like I look at old pictures, I got really big because I just was on the phone, going home, eating, I wasn't myself. And we started the podcast, The Porch, and then I got an opportunity through someone, and this guy is very controversial. I know how it is, but it must be real. Jason Whitlock, a guy who from Indianapolis. He went to Warren, went to Ball State, and he's a donor for Ball State. So that's how like we initially met. We were never close. We just met each other. We just knew who I was. And he saw that I was doing this like a podcast because he follows me on Twitter and literally randomly reached out. I wasn't like, it just came out the blue. It was like, hey, I see you're doing your own like sports podcast. Like, are you into production at all? And at the time, you gotta remember, I'm miserable at this point. I'm like, I am. Whatever you talking about, yeah. Like I know he's at Fox. And I don't know what he's about to say, but I know he's at Fox Sports. So I'm like, whatever you're talking about, yeah. So so long story short, I ended up getting like different phone interviews. I had like 5 different phone interviews with different people. I had to doctor up my resume to make it look a little bit more, tailored, a little bit more TV centric, media centric a little bit. Threw the podcast on there, talked about sports a lot. Right. And lo and behold, I got the opportunity. So, my actual job title was just social media producer. So I wasn't thinking about being on TV still. I'm thinking I'm behind the scenes doing, cutting clips, using Photoshop, stuff like that. Like a couple of months in, they called me into a meeting with like all the top like producers and stuff. Say, hey, we want to spice up this show a little bit, add a different segment. Would you be comfortable being on TV? I'm like, hell yeah! So they bring me on TV. I'm nervous. I have very little, if really no experience, honestly. But one thing they always said, just go up there, be yourself. If you make a mistake, oh well, just be yourself. And that kind of got the ball rolling. So to kind of answer your question directly, Banks, man, being versatile in a lot of different areas, man, and meeting different people, it's huge. It's very, very, very important because you just don't know where life is going to take you. So if you put all the eggs in one basket, sometimes it can work. Don't get me wrong, but it's risky because if something goes wrong and you don't have any other experience in any other area, now you're in a bad situation. Exactly. So
last spinoff, and then I'm gonna let you have it, Shaq. Because you just said how you didn't plan on that, and it's so crazy. It linked right to one of my questions. It was that I could peep from. I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know you, but I have to like do my homework and watch your page. Everything you got on there is high energy. Like, and you were saying that you didn't have a background in it, but that energy, that persona that you bring fits into the TV type area. You know what I'm saying? And even when like you was doing the squad in the 605. The whole, you know what I'm saying? The whole energy of the building, shaking the camera, everything.
Crazy.
So like, when you were growing up, did you always have that effect? And did it cause any issues with, like going to school and a lot of those high energy people are minimized? Like, hey, you gotta control yourself, or you gonna get in trouble, or things of this nature. Like, did you run into any issues with that?
I was always the talker in class growing up. Like, I wasn't like a bad student, but when I got in trouble, it was because I was talking too much, or I'm joking in class, or I was always the guy, like, I was pretty smart, so I would answer the question, which made the teacher happy, but then I'm going to answer it in my own way. I'm going to answer it, I'm going to say a rap or something. I'm going to do something to make people, I like making people laugh and like making people feel comfortable. Like, that's always been who I am naturally. And that's why I never really had so many beefs with people because I ain't really on that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's definitely caused some issues, and it's crazy in hindsight, bro. I look back, I'm like, dang, like, this TV stuff makes perfect sense. Growing up in Indy on the Far East Side, like being on TV ain't realistic, honestly. Mentally it's not realistic. I don't want to say it's not realistic because I'm doing it, but mentally it's not realistic. So it wasn't something that I thought I could do. You know what I'm saying? So, but now that I'm doing it, I'm like, dang, everything makes sense. Like when I was in high school, Shaq mentioned that we had something called Dub CTV. It was like our own little media, little team at high school. And I had my own little segment on there. I think it was on for every Friday before the game. I had my own little thing, and me and a couple of our teammates go in there, do something fun, talk about the game, whatever. And like, it was just something I did for fun. You know what I mean? But I look in hindsight, I'm like, dang, like I've been doing this kind of into a lower level, but I've been doing it. And so, yeah, it's crazy how God works, and how he brings everything together in the end. Full circle. It trips me out, bro. Like, the reason I'm here, I'm not better than nobody. I always say that. I'm just blessed. People always say, how'd you get there? I'm like, listen, bro, I did not plan for this. I promise you, I never planned to come to LA ever. I took a trip out here 2018 All-Star Weekend in February. And then 2 months later is when I got the call, and it was crazy how everything worked, bro. Like, it was almost like God wanted me to come out here and kind of see the city because I'm about to be out here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
that's dope, bro.
Yeah.
Facts.
Mind blowing, bro, for real.
Facts. Definitely with that, with connections and networking, you got to understand. For anybody listening, this coming through the ranks, or you still working and do things like that, you gotta be comfortable with making bridges, and you also gotta be comfortable with burning wrong bridges. But you just let even if you burn that wrong bridge, it might be something you needed to do for your personal growth, but it still can bite you. And in the long run, like I was watching, I forgot which celebrity, it might have been some rappers or something like that, but like, just the power of Jay-Z and what he like, you could burn somebody like that, and I mean, your career is over.
Right.
But at the same time, you gotta know that you did it on your morals and your principles and the reasons that you stood on it. But 99% of jobs are not because you got a 4.0 GPA, not because you was the first, number one in your class, not because you went to Duke or Harvard or one of these Yale. It's who you know. 99% of job applications are published in-house first. And I would say 10% of them are their kids, their grandkids, their son-in-law, their daughter-in-law who get those positions. And like Darnell said, like he has a marketing degree, and it wasn't for TV, but he made those connections and made the right moves that moved him ahead of you. So you could have the right degree, you could have a master's, you could have everything in line to get that job, and you lose that job just because you don't have the network to get that job.
Right.
So just networking, like always, like college ain't really about grades and having a 4.0. I promise you, I have never, and nobody's asked me my GPA. Matter of fact, I interned at my job. I did such a good job. They hired me. They never even asked me if I finished college. I could have dropped out and still been working there right now. They never asked me for a diploma, nothing.
They hired you as a person. You know what I mean?
Fact.
Me. So like, it was like, if I didn't finish school, they would have never known. Now that's deceiving on my part, but I finished school. But I'm just saying, using that, like, don't get so caught up in, oh, I have a 4.0 and think you high and mighty. I just seen same people. I'm pretty sure Darnell can speak on it. Well, we grew up on that Far East side. We had people that thought they was, they moved in a way where they thought they was better than most people on the Far East side. And now life is, changing. I wish everybody the best, but you've seen the lights of your actions. And Banks say, what comes in, what's in the dark comes to light. When you're doing deceitful things to other people and putting yourself on a pedestal, normally you end up, getting kicked in your butt for that.
Mm-hmm.
But to switch the gear a little bit, you say you live in LA. You say everything was already in plan and in motion. And I know you're a big Kobe fan.
Yeah.
So one question I had to ask for you, if you had to pick any Kobe game or any Kobe moment to be a part of, what would you pick?
Man, that's a
I got to lean in for this one.
So look, everybody, naturally, the first game that comes to your mind is that 81-point game.
81 points.
But honestly, bro, I wanted to be for his last game because I was at Ball State still watching the game. Me and my homeboy.
The 61 was
61. You know what I mean? Because it just to me it really embodied who Kobe was. And he was obviously, it was his last game, so he wasn't in his prime. It was tough. The beginning of the game, he was missing a lot of shots, but he persevered. And when I think about Kobe, I think about perseverance. I think about pushing through the struggles, not making an excuse, figuring it out. And that's what he did, man. And he kind of went out, he went out the way Kobe could only go out. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it would have had to be that last game, man, for sure.
That's what I said. I would have just liked to see him practice. I would just love to sit around and watch him practice. Just that energy that everybody speaks upon. Like, I feel like you could soak that up. I couldn't do nothing but make you hungry or want to.
I still watching videos today, Shaq. I'm like, man, let me go and get back in the gym.
I still can't believe it. And I know,
nice.
and I'm big on faith too. And I know everybody here is big on faith, but those are the type of things right there. And we always don't know how people are living, behind closed doors and things like that. But to get to the, arguably one of the biggest figures ever, arguably, and then to that to happen, it's just like, geez, like it like when stuff like that happened, it made me start thinking about it. Like, man, I'm like, what I'm saying, I gotta do everything I can while I'm here right now. Like, I ain't go hard enough today. I didn't do what I'm really bullshitting. What I'm saying, every time I see something like that, or I've lost family members who've held my family together, and I'm like, they was doing everything. They was trying to keep everything solid, and we lose them.
Right.
I'm saying, it just be stuff like that, and I don't know how y'all feel about that, but it'd be stuff like that that'd be having my mind racing like crazy.
I feel the same way.
But switching the topic a little bit, I know I seen this question in the media all day, and we don't got to use Jay-Z, but we gonna use Jay-Z. So would you rather take $10 million or dinner with Jay-Z?
Oh my!
I'll be real, man. Listen.
You better not, bro. You better not.
Listen. Okay. Listen. I told you I don't come from much. I didn't get kicked out of apartment. I didn't live with people. I'm taking a $10 million.
Okay.
Jay-Z, cool piece, but I don't know what that's gonna do for you. That ain't a guarantee, nothing. Not one meeting.
I literally be seeing people, nah, I'm taking that lunch with Jay-Z. You don't know what he doing. I'm like, bro, he could tell you don't put salt on your don't add extra salt on your food. That might be the closest.
I can't bank on that, bro. I gotta get the $10 million, bro. I can't bank on what he may do for me.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, he scared me, bro. I thought he was man, you don't know what Jay-Z. I'm like, oh no.
Hey, look, man, I got Wayne. I call Wayne. I don't need Jay.
Yeah.
Facts. Yeah.
I got Wayne. I just got 10 million. I need
What we doing? What we doing?
Got investment. What we doing?
Facts.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I be seeing them type of questions. I be in tears, man. People be really going back and forth about that. That, and then I be seeing people argue about rapper beef. I be seeing people I know from Indianapolis. Like, no offense, they're not cut like that. I've never seen them in that type of environment or around any of that. And they, Chief Keef ain't do this, and Lil Durk ain't do this, and this ain't do this, and I'm like, bro, are you crazy? Like, are you literally on here arguing about two people you do not know? I'm like, bro, you didn't put yourself in a whole beef, and you don't know neither one of them. Like, you just ready to ride, and you don't know.
Hey, Shaq said they ain't cut like that.
Nah, it's like, and it's no offense, but I done seen you. I done went to school with you. Yeah, I ain't trying to say I'm harder than the next or vice versa, but like, I didn't went to school with you. I know you. Like, probably ain't never seen you.
Hey.
Do anything.
Young Shaq used to come on now. Young Shaq.
Hey, home team soccer boxing going crazy this summer, or you got you in the Napaholics gym?
I'm trying to take it. If anything, I'm trying to make it more like Darnell said. Like, we all grown up, and I can't let them stories go. So like, I be trying to do more things positive. Yeah. And no matter where I go, I got to hear that. Like, I've met Warren coaching. Like, Shaq, I saw. Or Mr. Steinmull and Miss England and them, and I could just see the look on their face because they knew like the dumb stuff I used to do when I was in high school. Now they looking at me now. I'm like, I try to do more positive stuff. So the street boxing was cool, but now I'm trying to take it to a more polished level. And hopefully, me, Mike Tolliver, Coach Dave, and Napaholics Gym, we doing some positive things with the youth, and we gonna have a team ready for Golden Glove. So we gonna take it from the streets. And try to get guys really, let's really get paid. Let's really try to get some promotions going instead of, YouTube views. But I mean, hey, if I could do both, I'd do both. But I'm looking to build something more solid, if that makes sense.
Perfect sense.
I feel like that's dope, bro. That's big though, because that was catching a lot of buzz. And like you said, we was talking about sacrifices earlier, bro. That's a sacrifice. That was catching buzz for sure.
And the crazy thing was, I was literally, I mean, to cut you off, I was literally sitting in my room. I'm like, man, I'm about to pop some boxing off. Like, literally, that's literally how it went. I'm like, I got on Twitter. I'm like, man, boxing starting up this week. Who want to get down? And it grew legs like that. Like,
I love it.
I pull up in a park. I see 100+ people in Camaros. And I'm like,
bro, you brought the city up, bro.
I'm like, I'm like, this is a little bigger. I'm like, this is a little bigger.
But bro, real quick, before you move on, that's actually like a testimony though for like, you said you was at the crib chilling. He said, I'm gonna pop some boxing off, put a tweet out, and made it happen. But so many people have amazing ideas, $1 million ideas, but they feared or scared to go try it. You live one life, just do it. Even if it don't work, it's not failure. You just learn from it, and then try something else.
And 99% of the time, it might be that they scared, but more so that. I feel like, and this is me growing up, and I didn't try 5 different logos before I ended up with home team, like, and different things like that. I would tell somebody my dream, and then they would shit on it. And then, like, I thought you was my homie, but like, I had to realize, like, you constantly, every time I got an idea, you either want to shit on it or you want to take it and do your own thing. So it's like, when somebody does that to it, and I've watched other people, it happen to them too, it discouraged them from even wanting to put it out into the light, because it's like, is it good enough? Is it this? You never gonna know, because you can let somebody trick you out your spot before you ever even start.
Exactly.
That's facts.
And we gotta stop doing that as people. Forget a community, as people. Like, somebody tell you something, I mean, say, you gotta polish it up, keep going, but don't be like, nah, that's not gonna work, or that's too saturated. Like, I watched somebody tell a girl who wanted to be like what's it called? Whatever it is. Yeah. And she like, it's 1,000 of them. I'm like, okay, she gonna be 1,001 and go, like, you can't just, like, that's the type of people that I weed out. If I say something positive and you say something negative, I know now we can't really talk about goals and things like that. You ain't no pressure, but we can't talk about that type of stuff. We just got to talk about the normal, the normal conversations.
Facts. Some people you can't try and sell a vision on a person who can't see it. You feel what I'm saying? And so you gotta.
Facts.
That goes back to what you said earlier, bro. You got to burn some of them bridges with some of the people, you know. And it's not necessarily they holding you back. It's just some people, they just visually impaired to some of that deeper thinking of certain things. So some people just has that knack of just having that ability to know where to go at all times and know how to do it. But action, I like that though. When you say you brought it up again, how, you know, he was just saying, I'm about to pop some box. Action is the best course. Like, course of action is the best thing, right? That's what I wish I would have learned in college, because I mean, I'm not renowned in anywhere. I'm not like, I'm not known for nothing for real. But my body of work, like what I did everything the right way. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And so like in college, bro, like going back into sports journalism and things of that nature, I did everything the production side of sports in college. Everything you get. I was on the radio. I was in the newspaper. I was doing sports editing. I was doing sports production, camera work, TD, 3-play, graphics, directing, produce. Everything, and it's all on the but I was always nervous to take that lending help. There was people that was trying to really help me, you know, get there. You know what I'm saying? And then I feel like we spoke on it last time. I'm not gonna go too deep. I feel like I was the man because I was getting some of these interviews with ESPN, Turner, and all that. So like, just like being from the Far East, like, man, I'm really finna. You feel what I'm saying? Then people hyping me up. Yeah, like,
I'm that. I am him.
Until I wasn't him. And I didn't get nothing. And I was sitting there like, what the fuck am I going to do? You feel me? So then, you know, I just didn't take that course of action to really make myself think even deep, because, you know, we spoke on this last time podcast too. We're a minority. And so we can't give 100%. We got to give 200%. We got to be better than the best person. You feel what I'm saying? Right. And so then we got to continue to grow and continue to do. And so I had people that was really like, I need you to reach out to this person. I need you to reach this person, got this and got this. I'm like, no, nigga, I'm already, you feel what I'm saying? I'm doing what the fuck I'm supposed to do. As long as I do this, they gonna fuck with me. They didn't fuck with me. And so now I'm still, you feel me? But I'm still growing. I'm still doing me. I'm figuring it out now. And now I'm reaching out. I'm sending hey, look, listen to me. Hear me out. Check me out. Listen, look at this. Yeah. Okay. So give me some experiences being here. Okay. Now I'm really reaching out. Right. Because in college, bro, I wouldn't spend 40 on a network event, but I'll spend 60 on the hand for sure. And that was an easy decision. That was an easy decision for me.
Thursday through Sunday.
Bro, that was an easy decision for me, bro. Easy.
Wow.
So
he said I wouldn't spend 40 on the collar shirt for the networking event, but I'll spend the $37.99 for the fucking Hennessy. That's deep.
Every time. It was easy.
That's a quote right there. You got to keep that out.
Yeah, you got to keep that, bro.
So that's, and I mean, I learned from that, of course, because I didn't get nothing from it. Now I'm trying to make something myself for it, so I'm doing better now.
And we can appreciate that. It's all about growth, man. Yeah. And Darnell, you know, you being in principal and you working in rooms right now, and you dealing with people, you know, not of your skin tone and not of your community and not of your culture and things like that. One of the big questions, I don't know if this was from Banks or Darren, would you put on your
fake it till you make it?
Would you put on your more so fake it till you make it, or put on your poker face in order to keep succeeding in the role? Or would if you felt some type of way, would you immediately say I can't do this, or vice versa because of the way they feeling? I'll let Banks elaborate on that because I think I misread the question.
Nah, you good. Because it kind of tied into what he was saying, like about y'all saying the visions. So the visions are specifically to you, like that's specifically to you. And just think about like when they be like people who got astigmatism, the way they see this light is completely different than how everybody else see it. I'm blind, so yeah, I didn't know y'all see light like that. But your vision is like accustomed to who you are, and that's how your brand is. You push who you are. But are you willing to do that fake it till you make it? And able to put on that poker face to get what you need out of a certain situation, and not exploit nobody. You know what I'm saying? Just to make it to the next level and learn these resources to move on to the next level. So Shaq, you was right on the head.
Okay, I didn't mean to read your question. My bad.
You good, bro? This everybody.
Yeah, no, that's a deep question.
Everybody.
Nah, so that's
growth.
There's a phrase I've always like kind of used when I'm talking to my homeboys, or especially my teammates when we were back in college. It's like you got to play the system. So what I mean by that is I'm not saying like be out of character. I'm never saying go to that extent. But at the same time, like it's a time and a place where you ain't gotta be the realest dude 24/7. You ain't gotta always just what I mean. And I get it. Like if someone disrespects you or crosses the line, of course defend yourself, speak up. But I'm saying like us as black people, and I know like a lot of us we're naturally like we you gonna respect us, like, you know what I'm saying, which I love. But we don't have to always be, you know, be that guy, be that girl that has to, like, you know, say something all the time. Sometimes you know, you got to play the system. You kind of got to do the work or say the right things to just make sure that you continue to grow and elevate within your field until you get to that certain position to where, okay, now you running stuff. Now the things that maybe you didn't like when you were a lower tier worker or whatever, you can change because you in a power position. But if you were at a lower tier and you do so much of the you know, talking and arguing or whatever the case may be, that it harms you and it stops you from reaching those plateaus. Now, whatever the problem is in your field or whatever the case may be, it will never change because you were the person who could have made that change happen. But since you were so, you know, busy, you know, being real, whatever the case may be, you stopped yourself from getting to that point to make the change. So you got to see the bigger picture. And it's tough. It's tough sometimes. You get in tough positions. It's like, man, I ain't about to let so-and-so get over on me or whatever the case may be. And but sometimes you kind of just got to think about the bigger play. It's like, y'all, you know what? I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna chill on this particular time, and you know what I mean, and keep pushing. So
Facts.
That's a great answer, and that's perfect timing, Shaq. So I'm glad you read that because that flowed perfect.
Facts. And speaking on that too, you know, I'm one of my favorite. I don't want to call him an activist, but I think that's what he was. Dick Gregory. I met Dick Gregory at Indiana State one time, and I mean, his knowledge was crazy, and he was unapologetically him at that point in time when I met him in life. I don't know. They said he was going through like dementia and things like that at that time when I met him. But one of my favorite books, and I think I watched the movie on YouTube at least. I want to say I didn't watch it not as much as I seen Friday, but I didn't watch it a lot of times. Right. It's called The Spook Who Sat by the Door. So if you're not familiar with that book or that movie on YouTube, it's basically a black gentleman who infiltrates the FBI. The FBI was trying to get more diverse. They recruit like these black individuals, but they basically haze them to try to make all of them quit, and he makes it. Then he takes what he learned, the training, guerrilla warfare, everything he learned from the FBI, and he went back and taught it to the people in his community and built basically his own army. So I kind of take that, you know, it's maybe five minorities in my entire company at a management level. So you got to think I'm dealing with people that's not of my kind of all the time. They can't relate to certain things I'm saying, and I can't, you know, talk certain ways I would talk if I was talking to you guys right here. And that's not saying that I'm hiding or showing a poker face. That's just showing that I'm handling things in a business manner or in a business way. But a lot of times people get tricked out their position. Like I've got guys, interns and different things like that, and they let somebody trick them out of what's going on. I don't care what job you work. I don't care if you work with all black people, anything, whatever your race is. It's going to be somebody at your job that you don't like. Right. I don't care where you work at. So you might as well get that in your head and not let them. Because once you become that problem or you complain a lot or you do things like that, then that's when you stop your growth at that company. Exactly. So you might be waiting on a promotion, things like that. But look, I want you to look in the mirror and say, you know, what have I been doing? Am I complaining? Am I always arguing with somebody? Am I not, you know, is somebody having to redirect me all the time? That's when people get tricked out their position and forget. That's the poker face that I like. Now, like I like what you said too, Darnell, is you know, you don't gotta be real. I mean, it's different strokes for different folks and different conversations that need to be had at different times. And you running a business meeting and talking about a portfolio or preaching something for your clothing brand, you're not gonna go in there like, yo, what's up, my homie? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, it's different thing. And I feel like some people get that line crossed so confused to where if they do that, they feel like, oh, you Uncle Tom, or, you know, you did that. No, you gotta. Like I took that spook situation. Like I want to be in every room. I might not even say too much, but I want to know, okay, this is what they're doing. But that, like, cause they like companies and places like that, you don't know what's going on. Every worker doesn't know what's going on. And especially if it's an older company, they disperse information from the top down and then everybody just gossips. Yep. So it could be somebody getting fired and he didn't told him, and then it just trickle all the way down the system every single time. So if you just sit around long enough, you will learn how the system works and learn what's going on. But you can't just go in there militant and, you know, thinking you deserve something or because you got a college degree that you automatically should be in this position and things like that. That's where you got to learn how to use that poker face and wait your turn, as I think Banks was saying.
Darren, you got something on that, bro?
No, I was awful with my poker face. I had to get a lot better at it. I wore my emotions on my face. So, like, usually when I heard something, I was scowling and shit. So,
man, when I first met Darren, bro, he was the king of this.
Yeah, facts.
Like, bro, I said, bro, like, you say he ain't like it, bro. You ain't say, like, it could be something. Let's go do this. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, he automatically knew, like, that's what you got to learn.
Yeah.
Body language speaks 1,000
Facts.
times louder than words will ever do.
Growth tremendous, though, bro. That boy growth
was all about.
Facts.
Yeah.
But before we let you go, I know we didn't kept you on here a little over. We about 10 minutes over. We're going to get into our last sponsor before we let you out the phone. Magnolia Co, man. They got something special dropping Friday, 10 a.m. Please follow them on Instagram at Magnolia Co. They dropping Magnolia Green. Sorry, Magnolia Green Co. They dropping a male grooming product. Darnell, I know you ain't got the beard yet. You got the look. I see that you and Banks down there.
Got the little baby,
Y'all struggling, but they got the butter, they got the candles, they got the beard oil, they got the skin oil. So check out their site at Magnolia Green Co. on Instagram. If you get on there now and send them an email and they confirm you for their newsletter, you'll get 10% off your next purchase. So if you got somebody in your family or pops or uncle and you want to get them an early Father's Day gift for next year or something like that, get on there and check out and see what they got going, man. Darnell.
They real stand-up dudes, too.
Facts. Yeah. Facts. Darnell, before you go, please shout out your Instagram, your podcast, and your clothing line one more time. We appreciate you for stopping by. Appreciate you for giving us these gems and just donating some time to us.
Yes, sir, man. I had a lot of fun. So, yeah, all the listeners, you can find me on Instagram at Darnell_Smith95. That's Darnell with 2 L's _Smith95. You can follow the podcast on Instagram as well at The Porch Podcast _. And like I said, the podcast is anywhere you listen, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, whatever, you can find The Porch. And then last but not least, Live for Today Clothing Brand, man. Please check us out. We got some new gear, new shirts at Lftclothingbrand.com. Lftclothingbrand.com, man. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, Bree, I hope you listening, man.
Come on, Bree. Got the short sets.
About to get you right. You about to have some new fits, man. I need to see progress.
I love it.
I appreciate
you.
Man.
I'm going to check it out tonight.
Appreciate
it.
Thanks, man. Home team signing off.
Peace.